For level 1, you will be doing the choreography in the room with your instructor. So I have 5 tips for you for how to pick up choreography quickly and how to do it well. Tip number 1 is watch the instructor closely and listen to the music. You want to make sure that the very first time you're seeing the move that you're paying attention to what they're doing. You're asking yourself, which foot do they move? Where do they move it? Which arm is it? Where are they stepping? How are they moving? And listening to the music to see if they're moving in time with the lyrics. Maybe they're moving in time with a particular beat or an instrument in the song. Making sure that you're watching and listening very, very closely to absorb as much information as you can. Tip number 2 is don't just watch the choreographer. Make sure that you are also practicing with them. After you've seen it a few times, you need to start moving your body and start to put those motions into practice so that you're actually practicing with your body. You can't expect yourself to learn the choreography just by watching. You have to physically do it with them. So make sure that once you've seen it, once you kind of have your head around it, that you're starting to practice it. Even if it's wrong, just start getting your body moving and following along with them. Tip number 3 is if you mess up, just keep moving on. You don't have to be 100% perfect right from the beginning. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to kind of stumble and struggle through a little bit, but don't stop and get so focused on getting perfect that you don't have time to finish the rest of the choreography. So make sure that you do something, it gets close enough, you then move on, add on an extra couple of counts or add on the next phrase. And then what you might find is the part you were struggling with actually flows seamlessly into the next section. So once you mess up a little bit, just get close enough, keep on moving, learn the rest of the combo, and then you can go back, practice, and try it again. Tip number 4 is to ask questions. It is absolutely okay to ask questions, to stop your instructor and say, how do I do this? Can you show me that again? The more that you ask questions, the more they'll realize that you're invested in this, that you really want to learn, and they'll be able to help you walk through that process. So ask questions. Don't be afraid to stop and start if you need to. Make sure you feel comfortable with what you're doing. Tip number 5 is be kind to yourself and act confident. It's okay to mess up, it's okay to make mistakes, but don't let those mistakes cause you to start thinking negatively or get down on yourself or be frustrated. Find the moments that you did well, celebrate those successes, and then when you go to perform the complete routine, you'll be able to do it with confidence, knowing that you can do it well. And if you make a mistake, we just keep on going confidently and strongly, going from the beginning all the way through to the end. If you are doing the level 2 audition, these are tips to help you choreograph the best work that you can. Tip number 1 is choreograph what you know and what you are good at. If you are naturally very gifted or skilled or you're really passionate about contemporary, don't try and choreograph a hip hop piece and think that that's going to be the best thing. Make sure that you're choreographing what works for you, what is most comfortable for you, and what comes naturally to you. And in that, you'll find that you actually end up choreographing what shows off your skill the best. Tip number 2 is study the music and listen to it on repeat. Listen to it once through to focus on the beat, the tempo, the lyrics, the emotion, the feel of it. Close your eyes and see if there's anything or any sound that actually brings up movement in your mind's eye. The more you listen to the music and you know what's coming next, the freer you are to actually be able to move and explore with improvisation. Tip number 3 is to focus on the basic elements of dance. If you are trying to think about what comes next, maybe you've gotten to a point where you're stuck and you don't know what to do, go back to the basic elements of dance. Focus on your body, your time, your energy, your space, and your form. And look at those things and see, how could I change one of them? Or how could I focus on one particular element and see what comes through your choreography next? Tip number 4 is to use structured improv just to kind of jumpstart ideas. Again, whether you're trying to start from the beginning or you've gotten partway through and you feel like you're stuck, just pick 2 to 3 verbs and explore those verbs with your body. So maybe, how can I bend and twist? Or how can I hit and jab? Explore those things, improvise with or without music, record yourself, and then you can watch it back and see how that might elicit new ideas or create new opportunities for you to explore those movements in your choreography. Tip number 5 is to trust yourself and your process. You can't create well if you're always judging what you've done or self-sabotaging your own process. So stick with it. Try and put a couple of combos together. Try and get a couple of phrases. And then after you've put that together, if you don't like it, you can always go back and change it. But go through the process, get from beginning to the middle to the end, and then you can go back and evaluate your work. I hope you found some of these tips useful for your dance audition, whether you're doing level 1 where you do the choreography on the spot or level 2 where you're coming up with your own choreography. I will see you at camp very soon.